M&T Bank, I thought I was just going to do typical intern things, like filing papers, getting coffee, and shredding things. But when I got there, Steve, my mentor, told me that they had bigger plans for me. I was to be a teller, yes, a full-time teller, doing everything a teller would do. At age 16, my friends were getting jobs at McDonald's and Tops, but I was going to be a teller, after some training of course. Since Steve is in the reserves, he was gone for a while, so Desiree, a senior teller, became my mentor. She took me under her wing and let me do work at her station, processing different kinds of transactions in our computer system. I spent my whole spring break, a week that should be of relaxing and having fun, in teller school. I was in teller school with Jen Geska, who taught me more about the computers and what to do if I was being robbed. We did a lot of online learning. Those took forever because it was a test associated with each module that I had to pass with an 80 or higher, or, well, I didn't know what would have happened. Finally, after completing my training, I was able to start processing transactions and handling money. Though still being an intern, I still did typical intern things like filing documents such as signature cards and marriage certificates, things that a bank holds on to. I also did a lot of safety deposit box work too. Since our safety deposit box vault was downstairs, I had to take a lot of clients down there, help them into the vault, get their box, and show them where their rooms were. I could start doing this right away because I didn't need any security training to do this. Yet working on the line was my favorite thing to do. Processing transactions, handling money, and working one-on-one with the clients was my favorite thing. Occasionally, I would do the drive-thru, though I liked being on the line more. I got to meet so many new and interesting people, and though being a bank teller really didn't ever cross my mind as future plans, I am really starting to like it.
It was a Friday at Home Mortgage, and I was just anxious to get home and make plans. What I didn't know is that I was spending time with someone who wouldn't be back to work on Monday like the rest of us. I was finalizing mortgages with an elder woman named Mary. 5 o'clock came soon enough, and I quickly said my goodbyes and left. I returned on Monday and asked the boss what I should work on. She said to continue what I was doing on Friday. I circled the office a couple of times in search of Mary, looked in the kitchen, and she was nowhere to be found. I asked one of my other mentors where Mary was. She paused and didn't respond right away. She gave me a sad look and a brief sigh, and told me the bad news. Mary passed away over the weekend due to natural causes. At that time, I noticed the office was very silent and everyone was all work and no chatter. No one new was hired to replace Mary. Her work was just divided up, and as an intern, I received a piece of Mary's work. I think this would have upset Mary. This meant that her work was unfulfilling and easily to replace. This got me to thinking, when I'm older and enter my career, I want a job that can't be replaced easily and is very fulfilling.
Ever since I started my internship at M&T Bank, one of the aspects that interested me the most was the vault. Quickly, I began to wonder, what would it be like to get locked in the vault? Common perception of bank vaults would be like this: big, thick, steel, bulletproof doors with all sorts of locks and systems to keep out burglars and intruders. What a nightmare to be locked in this. Nobody would be able to hear my cries for help, and I would have to wait until someone came in on their own time. Who knows how long that could take? Then you have the esteemed, suave leader of the Mafia's vault, which isn't only protected by locks and doors, but by secrecy. Trick doorways and traps set to keep out suspicious wanderers or people like James Bond. Imagine being locked in something like this. It would be impossible to find, but what a fantasy at the same time, getting locked in a vault, distressed and alone, only to be whisked away and saved by Mr. Bond, every girl's dream. For obvious safety reasons, I wasn't able to obtain a picture of the vault at the Lancaster branch. However, this is kind of what it looks like. The door isn't even this thick. It's simply a 3-inch bulletproof glass door backed by vertical steel bars for extra protection. I've been in M&T's vault a few times, and each time I've wished, hoped, imagined what would happen if I got locked in there. The first time I was in there was with 2 of my co-workers, Nicole and Evie. My mind explored the possibilities of being locked in a safe and having all the money I could imagine. Millions and millions of dollars, all mine, and mine to spend however I wanted. But that was the problem. Because I was locked in the safe, I had nowhere to spend the money, and I wasn't free to use it as I pleased. The next time I was in there, it was with the bank auditor. I observed her as she inspected the vault and made sure that the bank was following their proper procedures. Imagine being locked in there with her. Auditors have this reputation of being scary and intimidating. I would have to be on my best behavior had I been locked in the vault with the auditor. I imagined her nitpicking everything I did, whether it be snoring when I took my nap or my posture as I slouched on the ground. What an uncomfortable experience. Then I thought of what would happen if I was locked in there with my worst enemy. Inside the vault, there's only 2 water bottles and 1 blanket. What if they stole my water bottle while I was sleeping, or wouldn't share the blanket? That would be terrible. And then I thought of all the fun I would have had I were locked in the vault with my best friends. It would be so amazing. With our sleeping bags and pillowcases, telling each other scary stories, it would be the greatest thing ever to have a slumber party in the vault. Due to the safety procedures, getting locked in the vault at M&T is highly unlikely. Not only does one have to have someone with them at all times, but you have to sign in and out every time you enter the vault. Someday, however, I'll have my own personal vault, filled with lots of money, where I can have my best friend sleep over all the time, and I won't have to deal with intimidating auditors or my worst enemy. Having this internship at M&T has helped me take the first step to achieving this new dream, and I can't wait until it becomes a reality.